Dear diarrhea, diary full of shit. Play along with myself and I, no one else. Yeah, I'm so legit. Yeah, if I would have won the lottery, I'd give my mom $100,000 and my dad $100,000. So 200,000, 100,000 each. My sister and my brother-in-law each. My three nephews, they don't need to, worry about that. I wouldn't, I guess college fund, whatever, but, I would just, yeah, I just don't think, I don't know. I guess I'd have to think about it. But that means, my sister, would have, $500,000. Don't need to go too crazy with the cheese whiz, but yeah, mom and dad, 100,000 each. Sister, brother-in-law. My nephews, they're kind of, they're just too young. The oldest one is 14 now, so I think 14, 12, and like 10, I think. I don't know. I don't remember. And that coworker that I used to work with, I'd give him 50,000 because he was kind of hurting for money, and he was just kind of wanting to. I just would. I'd go ahead and pay off my house. That way, I would, not paying the interest on it. And just go ahead and pay it off. I don't have any other debts or anything, so that would be that. I'd invest a lot of it. I'd open up multiple CDs. I don't know if there's a limit to how many you can have. I'd still work full time. I make donations anyway to Red Cross and the Denver Rescue Mission, for like homeless people and stuff. I've heard that for every dollar that you donate, only like 10 cents actually goes towards the people. The rest, the 90 cents, goes to administrative, fees and all that shit. But I don't care. It is what it is. And I don't go crazy with that stuff. I just, American Cancer Society, Red Cross, like I said, just, kick them $10, or whatever. So I'd continue doing that. And I'd probably donate more. Because you can specify. I wouldn't give them $100,000, but I might give each of them like 500. Because what is the lotto? It's like several $1 million. Anyway. Lottie Dottie likes the fucking party. Party! Party, 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 party. Party, 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 party. Hardy, hardy. Thought you were Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel don't talk like that. Are you talking like a piece of cheese? Hmm? Anyway. He's done. He's done. He's done. Looks clear. Thought you said it was clear. It looks clear. From that pitch black. Then there was the second one, and then the third one. Come on, you're missing the point. Oh, this? This is just a personal grooming device. One more time for family. Anyway. Oh, shit. I've also got a hat. I don't think I mentioned that yet. I got a Four Rivers equipment hat, and it says deer on one side. My last job, you know, they had a, you know, John Deere makes like heavy equipment too. Only it's, you know, yellow and black, not green and yellow. And they were renting it, you know, to see if they wanted to buy it. The representative was out there, and he gave everybody hats, so I'll keep it. I also have a hat. It says beer. It's an upside down Jeep, yeah, and it says beer, and if you flip it over, it says Jeep, and I don't know. I guess the D is backwards or whatever. D, B, whatever. Where did I see that? I think I saw that at some sort of truck stop or grocery store. Not a grocery store. I think it was a truck stop. I was driving for Walmart. Anyway, because I rolled my Jeep, you know. Wrecked that bitch. Lottie Dottie, we likes to party. I haven't shown my monster truck. Maybe I should go show it right now. You want to see my monster truck, Katie Boo? I'm going to have to throw you up in there. Okay, let's take a journey. Let's take a journey. Let me take a couple swigs of alcohol because I am still drinking today. I hate alcohol. I just get drunk. Oh. Two swigs every 15 minutes until the bottle's gone. Whew. Creaking, cracking. Unfortunately, Katie Boo, when we have kids, especially if we have a son or a little Ollie, the chances are pretty high that he's going to be an alcoholic. It's genetic, you know. Okay, let's take the journey. Now, mind you, it's dirty. Okay, it's got some bird shit on it and whatnot, but I'll show you my monster truck. Monster truck. It says Vet's Blessing Vet across the top. I'm not a veteran. I was never in the service, but just hadn't taken it off yet. Guess I could take the keys out and start it up. Just drive to the mailbox and back. I ain't putting that bitch on a goddamn public road. I got a couple in me. Nope, we're staying on my property. And that's fine, that's not illegal. The minute I put that bitch across that threshold, woo! I mean, so yeah. This right here, this is my first car. And then I got the Jeep and the brown S10 and blah. Yeah, I don't really want to drive it. I'll just start it. In gear. I'm standing on the ground. This isn't the wisest thing to do. But so it's not super jacked up or anything, but that's my monster truck. There's my lawnmower with weed control apparatus. Shed's a mess. That's my favorite. So, what do you think, Katie Boo? You think you could stand to be seen in that? You probably don't want to be seen in the Isuzu, or the Isuzu as it is affectionately known, because it's underpowered. It's a diesel, no turbo. Really good fuel mileage though. Yeah, I'm keeping that truck forever. So, in my dad's truck, you know, he rebuilt the engine. It's got like a, it was like a 398. He rebuilt it, and it's like a 4 or something because he bored it out, you know, and whatever. It's not a hot rod, but it's got fast, low-end response. So when you put your foot into it, you know, it kind of has that nice, you know, it'll throw you back in your seat, but then it takes a shit. So you've heard, I'm sure, no doubt you've heard the term sleeper, you know, which is a car that you think would be slow, but it's actually fast. Well, my dad's truck is the opposite. You know, that truck, that's a 350 small block. You know, and it kind of has kind of a hot rod sound. You know, it's kind of got that. I mean, you heard it, but my dad's truck, you know, it straight up is like, you know, it's got that nice hot rod sound, and it shakes, you know, while you're, you know, at the stoplight, you know, but it's really not that fast. You'd think it would be, like I said, if you're driving it and you just sort of, you know, it's got low end, low RPM, you know, horsepower, but then it takes a shit, you know, so I think it runs a quarter mile in like 14 seconds, which is pretty slow. Maybe 13, I don't know, I don't remember. I had the Pontiac Formula, you know, 88. And since sold it, it ran it in 13. So again, by drag strip standards, that's pretty slow. I took the Isuzu up there to the drag strip, Bandamere. It's since closed down, but I'm actually gonna move it out, kind of close out here. It ran it in 27 seconds. It was so slow they made me take the breakdown exit. Fucking asshole. 27 seconds. 27 second quarter mile. Holy shit. You know, it's funny, my dad, you know, we went up to Testenton, and my dad decided, you know, wanted to have a run, and you power brake it, right? So you got your left foot on the brake, and you kind of rev the engine up a little bit, and then when the lights go, you know, then you take off. And it's kind of funny, you know, my my dad, you know, it's slow enough where I could ride with him. If it's too fast, you can't have passengers, and there's different standards, like you need this type of seat belt, a roll cage, a loop around your drive shaft in case it, you know, breaks, it doesn't jam into the ground and flip the car, and there's stuff that has to be met, you know, based on the speed. But like I said, you know, just slow ass, you know, 14-second truck, and we'd take the exhaust off, you know, so, you know, just run the headers, you know, so god damn, I mean, it sounded like a 10-second truck, you know, especially just running the headers, just you know, just that nice, you know, sound. Runs in 14 seconds. So, but, you know, so you pull up to the Christmas tree, as it's called, and, you know, you just staging lights, the 2 yellow lights, and then for amateurs, it goes yellow, 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 green. I guess for professionals, it's just like yellow, boom, and then it's green. But, you know, for amateurs, it's like you can time it. 1, 2, 3, go. But he was power braking it, and then, so the lights, 1, 2, 3, boom, green light, and he pressed both of his feet. So the truck it's an automatic, so the truck kind of lifted up in the air a little bit. And then he let his foot off the brake. That reminds me of another time. I was 16 and my friend was 15, and I was letting him drive on the dirt roads, which is stupid. I was in like a 1980 something Buick Brom, or as I called it, the Broham. Boy, they don't make them like they used to. And for some reason, he drove off the damn road, and he hit the brake, and he was swerving left, right across the whole road. And me being the cool as a cucumber co-pilot that I am, I said, let off the brake. And he let off the brake, and then he straightened out. And there was a moment of silence, where he was just driving straight, and he almost crashed. And then I said, damn raccoons. So, like a raccoon ran out in the street, road. So, yeah, I remember that. Shit. One time I took a corner too fast with my grandma in her car. Oh, it was a Chevy Cavalier or something or whatever. Boy, they don't make them like they used to. And, well, we went off the road. And, I didn't lose control or anything, but, we kind of bounced through the ditch a little bit, And she had grabbed my leg. And after we got through the S turn, and I was going straight, she still had a death grip, on my right leg. And I said, you can let go of my leg now. Yeah. Anyway, if I wasn't drunk when I rolled my Jeep, I probably wouldn't have rolled the damn thing. I was rolling through those gears and hit that washboard. In hindsight, maybe I could have, I don't know, because that's how that happened too. I hit the brake and I was going from side to side, and I couldn't catch it. I couldn't save it. And I was heading towards the ditch, and that was the end. But it landed, upright. Like I said, I wish I would have just opened the damn hood, because the engine was still cool. Got up and sat on the engine and kicked the radiator out from the fan, because it wouldn't start. It would have ran rough, but I could at least got it home. Instead, I, started walking home, because I was going to go get a chain, and, just drag it home. But, a white vehicle with black lettering that said sheriff on the side pulled up with his cherries and berries on. I knew that was the end of that. So, fuck. There was all kinds of cars out there. They called a fucking like an ambulance and a fire truck. And my neighbors were out there, and just fucking shit, man. Anyway, 24 minutes in, blah, blah, blah. How do you like my monster truck? Pretty sexy, huh? That's a real bullet hole, by the way. What do you think? You think you can be seen in that? It's a pretty sexy bitch. Two-tone, primer gray, white with rust all the way through in multiple spots. Shit. Anyway, and my army truck, I'd like to get that. So, and I'm going to, you know, basically that's mine. It's got my name on it. The guy's just really busy, so. Hello, and there's another vehicle that I was thinking about, you know, this dude and the whatnot and the stuff and the shit. But I haven't contacted him, you know, I haven't, you know. Like I said, I'm weird, you know. Hey, look, there's a piece of shit. And then I pulled up, and he's got like these stickers, you know, for, you know, performance, you know, parts and stuff. And it's squatted down in the front. And it's got 3-inch exhaust, you know, that dumps out the side. And I'm like, oh, I see what's going on here. Oh, yeah. It's a 3 on the tree, which is, it's a manual transmission. I've driven one of those. But it's a column shift. Just look it up if you want to. So I don't know if you're into cars. Diesel time, because I'm not a gearhead. I'm not really anything. I'm just a piece of shit. But like I said, you know, I got a hoist out there. You know, basically just so I can start doing my own oil changes and brake jobs and whatnot, just so I know shit's done right. You know, just the simple, I mean, people are so fucking worthless these days, you know. So, my Paul bought me that for my birthday, and for Christmas he's going to have it installed. So, you know, and like I said, you know, I got a big damn shed, you know, out there, you know. So, anyway. Have a good day with your ass now. Come on with your ass now. Katie Boo, have you thought about maybe opening up like an OnlyFans account? Is that even still a thing? Is OnlyFans still like up and running? So we still on for Christmas? Oh, sweet baby girl, let's start a family. Why not? I mean, we could. Why just talk about it? Might as well die. Right.